The Galactic Council chamber fell silent as the transmission began. 12 species, representing the oldest and most powerful civilizations in the known galaxy, watched their holographic displays flicker to life. The message had traveled 3 parsecs from Earth, humanity's final communication before the shield went up. Honey Martinez stood at the communications array aboard the UNSS Prometheus, her fingers dancing across the quantum-encrypted keyboard. Her dark eyes reflected the amber glow of warning lights that had been flashing for the past 72 hours. Outside the observation window, Earth hung like a blue jewel against the velvet darkness, surrounded by an ever-tightening noose of alien warships. "Are you sure about this?" Harry Chen's voice crackled through her neural implant. He was 3 decks below in the reactor core, preparing the final sequence that would change humanity's fate forever. "We're out of options, Harry," Honey replied, her voice steady despite the tremor in her hands. "They've rejected every peace offering. They've ignored every scientific contribution we've made. They want us gone." The Galactic Council had made their position clear. Humanity, discovered only 47 years ago when Earth's first fusion signatures reached Proxima Centauri, was deemed a Class 7 extinction threat. Not because humans were warlike, not because they were aggressive, but because they were terrifying in their potential. In less than 5 decades, humanity had reverse-engineered quantum communications from a single crashed probe. They had developed exotic matter manipulation that took the Zephyrnites 3 millennia to achieve. They had solved the Crelian paradox, a mathematical proof that had stumped the galaxy's greatest minds for 10,000 years, in 18 months, treating it as a graduate-level physics problem. The Council had voted unanimously. Humanity must be eliminated before they became unstoppable. Harry emerged from the access shaft, his engineering suit streaked with coolant and carbon scoring. "The Schwarzschild generator is online. We're drawing power from the planetary grid now." He moved beside Honey, his shoulder touching hers, a small gesture of solidarity in the face of annihilation. "How long until the fleet opens fire?" he asked. 17 minutes, Honey said, pulling up the tactical display. 13,000 warships, representing 8 different species, surrounded Earth's solar system, enough firepower to sterilize 100 worlds, all focused on one small blue planet that had dared to evolve too quickly. "Then we'd better make this count," Harry said. Honey began the transmission. Her message would reach every council member, every military commander, every species in the galactic network simultaneously. It would be humanity's last words to the stars. "This is Dr. Honey Martinez of the United Nations Space Service, speaking on behalf of the human species," she began, her voice clear and unwavering. "You have declared us an existential threat. You have assembled the largest military force in recorded galactic history to destroy our homeworld. You believe this will protect your civilizations from the danger we represent." She paused, letting her words echo across light years. "You're right to fear us, but not for the reasons you think." Harry initiated the Schwarzschild generator sequence. Deep beneath the Pacific Ocean, in a facility that shouldn't exist by any known physics, exotic matter began to collapse into configurations that violated every established principle of the universe. The fabric of spacetime around Earth started to fold. "You fear our technology," Honey continued. "You fear our rate of advancement. You fear that in another century we'll surpass civilizations that have existed for millions of years. But your fear has blinded you to a simple truth. Humanity's greatest strength was never our intelligence. It was our determination to survive." On the Council's screens, Earth began to shimmer. The planet's electromagnetic signature was changing, shifting into frequencies that their sensors couldn't properly register. The Zephyrnite Admiral, his crystalline form refracting the light of a dozen suns, leaned forward. "What are they doing?" 3 months ago, Honey said, "when you first declared your intentions, we began the Exodus Protocol. Not an exodus into space. We knew we couldn't outrun you. An exodus into time. The revelation hit the council like a quantum shockwave. Impossible, hissed the Krelian delegate, its tentacles writhing with agitation. Temporal manipulation requires energy outputs equal to a quasar. No single planet civilization could. You're thinking in terms of your physics, Harry interrupted, having patched into the transmission. You've spent 10 million years refining technologies within the boundaries of known science. We spent 47 years breaking those boundaries because we had no choice. We didn't have time to learn the rules, so we rewrote them. Earth's shimmer intensified. The planet was beginning to phase out of normal spacetime. The Schwarzschild generator doesn't move us through space, Honey explained. It moves us through time. In approximately 9 minutes, Earth and every human being on it will shift forward 30,000 years. We'll skip past this moment, past your armada, past this entire epoch of galactic history. The council chamber erupted in chaos. Species that hadn't shown emotion in millennia were now displaying something uncomfortably close to panic. You can't, the Vortelian representative shouted. The temporal paradoxes alone are already accounted for, Honey said calmly. We're not changing the timeline. We're just stepping out of it for a while. From your perspective, Earth will simply vanish. No explosion, no debris field, no evidence we ever existed except your historical records. Harry pulled up a holographic projection. But here's what you need to understand. In 30,000 years, we'll emerge into a galaxy you won't recognize. Your civilizations will have either evolved or collapsed. Your empires will be dust. Your languages will be forgotten. But humanity will have had 30,000 years to prepare. The Zephyrinite Admiral's crystalline structure began to crack with stress. This is madness. You're condemning your own species to survival, Honey interrupted. We've loaded every ship, every station, every habitat with supplies to sustain us during the transition. We've calculated the physics down to the quantum level. We've run simulations 10,000 times. This will work. And when you emerge, Harry continued, his voice hard as neutronium, you need to understand what you'll be facing. 30,000 years of human advancement, compressed and accelerated by the knowledge that the galaxy tried to exterminate us. 30,000 years of engineering, physics, weapons development, and one singular focus, making sure nothing like this ever happens to us again. The timer reached 5 minutes. Earth was barely visible now, a ghost image flickering between dimensions. 7 billion people, humanity's entire population, were preparing for a journey that would make them travelers through time itself. This is your extinction, Honey said, her voice soft but carrying the weight of prophecy. Not ours. You had the chance to welcome us, to learn from us, to grow alongside the newest species to reach the stars. Instead, you chose fear. You chose genocide. She leaned closer to the camera, her eyes burning with an intensity that transcended species barriers. So here's Earth's last message to the galaxy. You just sealed your extinction. Not by your weapons, but by your choice. Because in 30,000 years, when we return, we'll remember. We'll remember that the galaxy's response to humanity's existence was annihilation. We'll remember that we offered friendship and received only death. Harry added the final piece. And we'll make sure that no species, human or otherwise, ever faces what you tried to do to us. If your civilizations still exist when we return, you'll answer for this. If they don't, well, at least you'll have had 30,000 years to prepare for what comes next. The countdown reached 30 seconds. The Galactic Council's fleet opened fire. 13,000 ships unleashed enough destructive force to crack a planet's crust and boil its oceans. Weapons that manipulated gravity, weapons that tore apart molecular bonds, weapons that hadn't been used since the ancient wars that scarred the galaxy's core. All converged on Earth's last known position. But Earth was no longer there. In the moment between heartbeats, between one quantum tick and the next, the planet and all its inhabitants shifted. The Schwarzschild generator, powered by exotic matter configurations that shouldn't exist and energized by the collective will of a species refusing to die, tore a hole in time itself. Honey's final words echoed across the communications network as Earth vanished. "We'll see you in the future. Pray we're merciful." The weapon's fire passed through empty space. Where Earth had been, there was now only a temporal scar, a wound in spacetime that would remain for millennia as a reminder of humanity's defiance. Aboard the Prometheus, now existing in a bubble of compressed time, Honey and Harry watched their instruments. The transition had worked. Earth was intact, its population safe, hurtling forward through centuries like a stone skipping across the surface of a cosmic ocean. 30,000 years, Harry said quietly. "Think we'll remember why we did this." Honey smiled, an expression both sad and determined. "We'll remember. Humanity never forgets a threat, and we never forgive betrayal." Outside the ship, the universe aged in fast forward. Stars were born and died. Civilizations rose and fell. The Galactic Council's great armada dispersed, their crews eventually returning to homeworlds that would crumble to dust before Earth's journey ended. And in the temporal bubble, protected from the ravages of accelerated time, humanity began its long preparation. 7 billion people, united by a single purpose: to emerge from the chrysalis not as victims, but as something the galaxy had never seen before. The message had been sent. The die was cast. The galaxy had chosen extinction over coexistence, and in doing so had created its own worst nightmare. Humanity would return, and when they did, the galaxy would learn what it truly meant to make an enemy of Earth.